Hey there, all you DIYers. Today, we're kind of putting some more additive stuff on the new air compressor on the Ram. So, I'm going to show you some stuff I'm going to do. So, let's get started on this thing. So, I got a pod for the pillar up here. So, it'll fit right up in here, just like this. We'll put the gauge, the air gauge right in here. So in order to do that, we got to be able to get the air line in there, the wires and everything else. And I tell you what, guys, I don't know about you, but it's really hard for me to take a marker and mark on here where I have to cut to get those lines to go through. And I just really don't like doing that, but that's where it's going through. I put the pod in there, lined everything up, and that's where those lines need to go through. I went with this what are they called? GlowShift, I guess. This little, go in there, check it out. That little gauge right there. Kind of nice light up and everything like that. It goes up to 200 psi. The compressor I have should only go to 150. So I just thought it'd be kind of nice to be able to see that actually stop and not keep going. Plus, I can actually monitor to see if it ever does go too high. So, of course, 2 screws to take out the pillar mount. I've already ran a couple of the wires and stuff back there. But now it's really, I got to cut into that thing, and it's taken a lot for me to try and cut into this thing. I don't like doing these things, but I guess if the thing's going to stay there forever, I guess it'll be fine. So I got to get cutting on this thing, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, so here we are. There's my mark. I'm going to use my little Ryobi cutter here, and hopefully, hope everything turns out fine. Alright, well, it's not real beautiful or anything, but there's a hole. Alright, so go back to the truck and see if we can start wiring stuff up. Wiring some stuff up. Alright, so like I said, I got the hole cut in here, pulled the wires through, my ground, my switch power, and my permanent power, the air line, of course, and I got the 1 screw put back in here at the top. I guess we'll start working on trying to get this pod piece put back in here. Hopefully all my lines are long enough to stick out here just a little bit. Hold on. We good? Alright, so got this all in here. I got to try and get a bolt back in here, and here it is right up here. The problem I'm having is trying to find. Alright, so looks like I'm going to have to get me a little bit longer bolt in order to get the this pod put in here, but that bolt should go in there. It is a 6mm bolt, And of course the factory one is of course too short. So hooking up the air, I did have to go get a couple different fittings to get that put in here, and should be able to pull this back up here. Tighten that back on here. Get this where I want it. So tighten it up in the right, kind of at the right angle and everything. So there we go. And hopefully that'll stay there. I've already put some connectors and stuff on here for my power and the switched, which I still need to do underneath the hood, but these are already on here in my ground right here. I'll get that attached and we'll get this put in here. Alright, so last we were trying to get this bolt put in here. Finally did get it put in, had to get a longer bolt. I think the kit actually came with one, but I lost it. So anyway, so here we are. We got everything hooked up. I showed you I did cut a hole in the pillar mount here and then ran everything through the back and down the side. I'll show you this over here in a minute. But here is my gauge here. I will turn on, and I have it set up now that it's actually turned on to the ignition. Right there is the light, so it's all lit up. Over here, actually I'll have you come around to the other side. Alright, so of course the gauge, I ended up putting the switch for it right here on the side. I had enough room to be able to get the wires. Like I say, all my wires, my air line is right here. All the wires and air line, everything is ran through the side right here from the front. So when I turn on the switch here, well, I guess I don't need any air right now. So right now we're good to go. There, my compressor came on. And it'll pump it up to the 150. Cut off here in just a couple of pounds. Right there. Alright, let me go under, we'll go show you underneath the hood what we got going on there. Alright, so underneath here, in order to get the switch tapped to have a accessory power, I end up using one of these. I'm going to pull this out here and show you what this is. It's just a fuse in here, so I believe the bottom one still runs the original accessory that one's plugged into, and the top one is the tap off of there. So I can still run the same one, and it does not interfere with what the original plug was used for. So then it just plugs in right over the top, just like that. And of course I got it running on the outside. I need to notch the edge of the box here so it's not going to pinch my wire like I had it right there. But tied in here, I got the constant power tied in on the top here, and of course air lines are running everywhere. But that is what we got for the new gauge. Alright, so as you guys all know, this coiled up hose here is the one that came with it, with this little stick-on doohickey on the end. I tried it a couple times on things, really don't like this setup here, so I went out and got something a little different, a little nicer. This is the hose I got. This is 25 feet long, got new ends for them, and then I also got this thing. This here, cheap setup, but clips onto your valve on your tire, and then down here on the gauge, this actually will show you the digital readout of what the tire pressure is or whatever you got plugged into. And then it's just a matter of hitting the button to let more air in, and then if you have too much air in it, the button here on the side will let the air out. I don't know why I didn't have one of these a long time ago. This is definitely awesome. And these will be down in the description in the bottom, which have a link to that stuff. So, all right, so that's going to do it for this episode. Go down, like, share, and subscribe to it, guys, and hopefully we'll have some new stuff for you next time. But I think that turned out really nice. See you guys.